Man, you come straight out of the comic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. You know what it is, man. Some of your favorite black entertainers and some of you just melanated entertainers coming together to talk about everything comic book related, from movies, television, actual comics, everything that you could think of that's blurred, man. I'm Will Pharaoh. Of course, today we got CT, Dion, Lack, and Young Deuces in the building. And y'all know I've been waiting on this, man.
You've been waiting. You've been waiting.
See, CT been whipping me into viewership shape. I don't like it, but I get it. Because now I'm not even looking at like Wakanda Forever clips. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, man.
Me either.
November 11th. No, sir. Yeah. I won't do it. And
now coming anyway.
Like, they coming with them. But I'm keeping steadfast. But that's not what we're talking about today. As y'all know, She-Hulk is finally done. First season is out. First season is done in the books, man. 9 episodes of this show. Not sure if it's a season 2, so I don't want to just call that out, but we got a lot to discuss today about this, man. We're talking about the first season of She-Hulk. So for y'all that just don't know, just a quick little catch up, man. She-Hulk is about a woman named Jennifer Walters. She is the cousin of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, Smug Hulk, Professor Hulk, whichever one he going by right now. And due to an accident, her blood infuses with his blood, and she becomes infected and becomes She-Hulk. And so in trying to find the balance of being able to remain an attorney and having to go through this transition of being a She-Hulk, we get to see the wild roller coaster ride that is her new life as She-Hulk. And so we got crazy cameos in this. We got a pretty great story. So I just want to jump and dive into it first. Start with CT. How are you feeling about season 1 of She-Hulk?
Here's the thing.
Come on.
Did not want to like this show at all. I'm talking about, I was like, this is about to be some bullshit. You understand? This is about to just be horrible. So be a waste of time. I thought it was going to be, because what aired before this? Miss Marvel, and then before Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. And it took me a while to even get into Moon Knight. Well, I tried to start immediately, then it fell off. And then 3 months later, after it already went off, I started back from episode 3, and I fell in love with the series because it picked up. Miss Marvel, I got to like episode 3, and I was like, all right, I'm still not the audience for it, but it's cool. She-Hulk, I was like, all right, let's see what this is about to be. I got 3 minutes in, and I said, oh, shit, I love this show. Yeah. And it was fire. This season, as we'll get into, this season, man, first of all, it's very smart to look at the show as what it is, which is a legal comedy. If you look at this as a legal comedy, Ally McBeal with superpowers, you're going to rejoice. Now, if you look at this trying to see a Captain America Winter Soldier type movie, you're not going to see that. This movie was, this show was phenomenal. I love the young lady that plays Jennifer Walters. She's, first of all, let's also talk brass tacks. She's not unattractive. So I don't even know how they tried to paint her like she wasn't a beautiful white woman. You understand me?
White, but she's adorable. Not beautiful. She's adorable.
I love her smile. Her teeth are great. Her face.
You on mute, Will.
Yeah, you will. You mute.
When we put her ass, when we talked about this, it was like there's a row of that classic beauty that you see in white woman like Meryl Streep and Hathaway, and then you have those that I always call it the funny girl next door, like what's her face from Superbad? Yeah, or even like her. Oh man, I don't know why I'm drawing to play Emma Stone and all of that cast. Yeah, like all of them in that group.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, you would put her within that. She could be in that caliber of top of like the pretty women in that group. The Anna Kendricks and stuff like that. Like those.
But you know what I'm saying? Everybody else.
No, I'm trying to think of who's the other one from Community. What was her name from Community that played in Glow? Allison Brie. Pretty, cute, pretty. We're not putting up in the top of echelon and stuff like that. But for the category that they're in, that's what I would put She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters' character.
Man, Jennifer Walters. And also we saw this dynamic of her battling what she feels, which is she feels incomplete as Jennifer Walters because she ain't getting no love now that She-Hulk's been around, and She-Hulk getting this thing where she doesn't feel substance. Everybody just wants to smash and look at her as this oddity, and then her trying to even figure out, well, who do I want to be? I'm not a superhero like my cousin. And then some things happen to where she's like, all right, well, damn, I guess I am a hero. And when she goes on that ride, I'm not gonna jump ahead of y'all, but when she goes on that ride and we see who we see, I said, this is how you sprinkle a goddamn hero into the show. Because when we look back at the Netflix Marvel shows, I think the introduction of the Punisher was the greatest introduction before somebody got their own series I've ever seen. Had they done that, like they did that with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, but they did it perfectly with Punisher, and they did that perfectly with this character on She-Hulk.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I agree. Dion, what about you, man? First thoughts on the first season?
First thoughts was, because I wasn't a comic book She-Hulk person, so I was like, they're going the Deadpool route. That's pretty dope. Because I didn't know if She-Hulk did it first.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yes, yes, she did.
You guys froze up a little bit. I didn't know. I saw. So when I saw that, it's pretty cool.
I was like,
why'd you stop? I was like, was that right?
All y'all was like.
Let's say Dion had the quickest review.
Man.
Yeah. So this is about to be funny. And I was a fan of Alan McBeal, so I was like, okay, they're going that route. That's pretty funny. I love it. I love what's happening. When I just erased the fact that this is a comedy and enjoyed the slices of life and not make it into this is like a long movie. I was like, every episode was like a beginning, middle, and end. With a sprinkle of a longer A story. And I just loved the show. But then I started to kind of hate, like, why nobody liked this show?
Me too.
We gonna
hear people
that.
like, okay,
we don't get into that.
So
Jazz hates
so yes,
he does.
So
I just interviewed him.
My only caveat, if you will, is I don't know how they're going to.
We fucking told you about this phone. We told you about this phone. You put your phone on silent right now, Dion.
Put it on.
It is.
It's not. How you gonna tell us, nigga? We just heard the vibration. Turn the phone on silent and give me my order of fries in the second window right now.
Patch me in with Trixie. I'm trying to get to the booty talking channel.
Man.
My only issue is I don't know how they're going to use her with the rest of the MCU. That's what scares me. Because I was like, are you going to stop doing the fourth wall? You know, say, is it? I mean, I know they're going to keep her having comedy, but I was like, she's the only one who broke the fourth wall. So I was like, I don't know how they're going to merge her with other people.
Well, actually, she's technically not. Wanda actually was. If you're watching Doctor Strange and the Method of Madness, they credit her to when she's switching and she looks into the camera. That's her acknowledging us as a viewer. And they said that was her basically breaking the fourth wall. So I think they are sprinkling it in for us to understand that type of dynamic there. There are characters that are self-aware of this and what's going on in our world and what's in theirs because of the fact that they're acknowledging that we're also a universe within this universe.
Right, because do we also count Agatha her breaking the wall, or does that?
Yeah, because of the Modern Family when she was talking to us on WandaVision. Yeah, you're right. That was another time.
But that was more like an intro, wasn't it? Because it was like it was Agatha all along, and she's like,
no,
and that killed Scrappy too.
No, the Modern Family when Wanda's sitting there talking, doing a confessional. Mm-hmm. She's talking to us when she's doing her confessional, and then you see Agatha in the back, and then she starts to drag us too.
Yeah,
but I think
Agatha is pretty. As the actress, we're talking about funny, beautiful white women. She's beautiful.
Yes. Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
I don't know what Catherine Hahn did in these last 5 years, but she stepped it up because at first she was okay. Then now when she came out as Agatha, I was like,
you know what
it's
did
that
it for
Marvel
me?
money.
It was that reveal that she was behind it all along when they showed that, like y'all just referenced, and she's like, "We're rolling." It was like, oh, she's so cute.
It was me in the 80s when she had on them aerobics clothes. I was like,
oh yeah.
I say, okay, Agatha, hold on. I can do some stretches with you. Hold on.
You know who my old white woman I love?
Who
is Diane Keaton.
Woo!
I love me. Hey, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Let me live. I said old. I specifically said old.
Yeah, but that's just
Come on, man.
He didn't say what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He might want to just read to it.
I want to smell her. I'm sure her hair smells like almonds and walnuts.
All right, now that got way weird.
You know what? I apologize, CT, because you were preparing this for.
I'm telling you, bro.
This is like Spider-Man No Way Home. I just Spider-Man this. You were Doctor Strange telling me this is going to happen to get weird. And I'm like, we got to keep going.
Man, how it now? If we're sorry, go ahead, Deuces, because Dion is on some wild shit. Give us your thoughts.
So just like CT, I went into this not expecting to like this at all. And in that first episode, it did grab me. And throughout the whole series, the one thing that I just kept on saying is like, I want this to continue, because to me, I feel like this show, the importance of this show would be all those characters that we would love to see come to life that don't really necessarily deserve or need a full movie. Like to have them go through some type of courtroom drama based off of their superhero ability within this show. To me, I think that this is the perfect engine for that. This is the perfect engine for everything that happens in the main Marvel timelines, whatever small level backlash or legal issue that they got to deal with to come down to this show. I feel like this show, that's the importance throughout the whole MCU, and that we should be able to keep this going based off of that. And then also, like I said, to me, I love the episode to episode dramas, where it's like you have that underlying thing, but I love that every episode we're going to get a issue and we're going to get a resolve at it. And we're going to get an issue and a resolve. Like I love how that pacing was for this show. It was something that was different from the other shows, and I just love the take on it. And to me, I thought the comedy was done well within this show. So it's like it was firing off on all cylinders for me.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing for me, man. I absolutely love this show. Just pieces from everything that y'all said. I love lawyer shows like Ally McBeal, Sparks, and Sparks. So it was just like,
oh yeah,
Sparks. To see this stuff, it was so cool. Like three of the things that I took away from this was, one, I love how unapologetic Jen Walters was as herself. Like even though you saw her go through her trials and tribulations, you never saw her doubt who she was as a person. And that always stood very clear through her and through She-Hulk. Another thing that I really took away from this was because of the fact of, like y'all said, this is someone that isn't necessarily a big factor, but now has shown that she can be within that realm of like, where is Deadpool going to get put, which actually kind of eases me too, as for him to be introduced into the MCU because of him being such a fourth wall breaker. We see that, okay, I can see this now underlaying of heroes that do acknowledge that. And then another great thing they did do about this season was they showed us something that a lot of these series nor have these movies shown us in these phases, which is the regular people having to deal with everything that's going on. So it's like I've never seen so many like newscast episodes that show you like all of these humans adapting not only to the superhero element, the outer space element of actually having aliens around, the magical element, the demonic element, and seeing these people like even like going to I believe what it was like episode 2 with the elf, and just how it was just so natural that a judge is talking about an elf basically doing a counterfeit scheme on a lawyer, and how normal it seemed. It wasn't no big to do. So it was like I like seeing them setting us up as to where everybody in the world is viewing these folks. Because like the last time we talked about, there's still a big ass head and a big ass arm sitting in the fucking Arctic. not causing no polar caps to melt. But hey, maybe they're gonna address that too. So,
I mean, that's the one thing that I noticed this show really amplified is that like you said, how the world is reacting to it. Because even when they were searching like YouTube and the news sites, just to see like the thumbnail of somebody talking about, a specific small moment or a big moment, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like in this world where influencers live, there will be somebody that's going to have a YouTube channel like, oh my God, did y'all see blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. So it's like, I love that too. Like it's become that, like showing that is a big, a dope call out.
Yeah. I also like how it was a great example for them to blend in modern times with the MCU. Like I say this now, Titania walked, so a lot of these future people are gonna be able to run because her being a villain and making that into a brand and then actually like suing Jen for her fucking trademark and stuff. But she got like she's a social media star who's still a bad guy. And it's like, wow, you're like how we see in normal comics, like you're Lex Luthor, you're Kingpin, like you out here, people know what you do, but you still not being stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that element. So I just want to but we're gonna go ahead and jump into the season and we're gonna start off again like with episode 1 and 2. So episode 1, we got I like how we just jump straight into it. It's just like, yo, here's what happened. We ain't finna make this a whole episode. Here's what happened. Yeah, I became a Hulk. There you go. Loved it. Loved the cameo with Bruce. Loved to see like saw what Bruce was doing. Arm is healed and everything. So
love seeing that.
Yeah.
I love seeing the balance too between them because like you see we all know what Bruce went through to get to where he's at now. To then to just see his cousin come through was like, all right, no, I'm not really raging like you, so I got this down pat. Like it was just, and you could tell like in Bruce's mind, he probably like, wait a minute, hold up, like you know what I'm saying? Like I went through hell and high water.
I was over here fighting for my life for years.
Bitch, I was gone for 2 years. I was gone for 2 years. You don't know what that's like to go to sleep, wake up for 2 years.
I'm over here fighting to keep this anger.
But I also like seeing even for the slight second of how the Hulks went at it and stuff like that. Like even like when they started fighting, you can see it's like we saw Jen and Bruce and how their conflict went, but then we saw it come together with their anger kind of taking over slightly and the two Hulks going at it. And still Hulk getting his butt kicked by She-Hulk and everything. So I love that setup of how it showed their differences between one another and how their paths will have those similarities, but be different.
You know what I love? It was a nice little writing they did. I think it was like episode 3 or something. When she was like, hey, Bruce, just wanted to call and let you know if I'm going to be representing the Abomination. Would that be all right? He looked at the camera and said, listen, Jen, I was a totally different person at that time.
Now y'all know we talked about that already. We didn't look. If y'all seen our previous episodes, y'all know my theory on that, and I still stand by my theory on that.
I love that. He said, like, hey, I was Ed Norton at that time. I was a totally different person.
He threw the literally in there.
Yeah, like literally.
That's what made this show so smart. Is because even like I know I'm not going to jump all the way ahead, but even at the end, where she's asking the things that we as fans are going to ask, like it's just there was so many smart moments in this whole series that was just like, oh man, I love that because it's like and it makes sense that a fourth wall breaker would be the one that does that. So
here's the thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, CT.
I think this, man. I love the show. One bad thing that I'm thinking immediately is, although I don't like trailers, I understand that you have to show certain people trailers. But the thing about shows like this is they kind of hurt themselves by revealing certain things too early. They're like, hey guys, next week Daredevil makes an appearance. And it's like, what are we doing? Why wouldn't you just let this be a surprise for the audience? You don't have to advertise it. Then with the final episode, they showed up an Abomination and Hulk fight, and it's like, yes, I know this is gonna be a swerve, but at the same time, you don't need to show me them for me to watch. If I've been watching, I'm gonna watch. I don't need to see this fight between Hulk and Abomination. And now I'm already looking like, wait, but the storytelling. You've shown me Emil hadn't turned into Abomination. You showed me the Hulk is on another planet. Right. So it's like now you're tipping your hand almost.
Also, too, the fact of like, when did the Hulk get shorter than Abomination? Because the last time
what's that about?
They were same height when they fought. I was like, but I got what my only theory is just the fact of Abomination just kept growing.
Is that the same thing as Abomination? Because Abomination.
Obama when he get mad.
That was the president's slogan right there. This is Obama's nation.
This is Obama's nation.
When Obama's anger translator doesn't work, when his anger translator doesn't work, then he goes further than that.
I'm not gonna let you hurt these people, and you're supposed to be in prison.
So be clear, I'm angry.
Abomination.
I'm angry.
You would not like me when I'm angry.
You would not like me.
It's important that you let me fucking relax. But yeah, I guess Abomination might have been just in his like first stage and then grew and stuff because like not having the ears in the original one and stuff like that. So I was just chalking it up to that. But like how you said too, I think it does. It hurt a little bit because like you said, it's like, okay, well now I know. It makes you wonder like and try to guess what the next thing is. And it's just like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, give me the surprise of watching the finale and being like, yo, right? And then, so to talk about the finale for a second, you showed me something that I thought was about to be one thing. You tell me that you want something different. This is my only episode that I was like, And then at the end of the episode, you show her coming back from talking to Kevin, aka Feige, the machine. And then she comes back and all of this has been wrapped up. She never even had to get them out of the lodge. They were just waiting right there with the police. I'm like, this is a letdown, bro.
Yeah. I didn't like that we didn't get an end. I didn't like that they made that the end. And it was just like, I get it's 30 minutes, but then also too, it's like y'all normally extend season finales too. So
and that's like, what I thought they was going to do.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like too, like even in watching this, there's some things that they weren't confident in just betting on, and so they tried to think that this would work when it's just like, no, give it to us, because once you redigest it, you see so much. Like even just talking about what we just did about the small thing of Bruce acknowledging I was a totally different person. That lays the undertone for all MCUs now because of the fact, like even Harrison Ford now being cast as General Ross, like you now can play that. With, we'll talk about that in another episode. But you now can show like when someone gets replaced, like even like Rhodes being replaced with Don Cheadle and stuff. It now gives that anchor of if people are gonna get replaced, you can even play into it now rather than us trying to figure out, okay, what happened when this person is gone? What happened when this person is gone? Or knowing too, like for Chadwick's instance, that was just a special occasion. All of y'all decided that that's how you're gonna honor his memory by not recasting him. But everybody else is still up for grabs. So I like that.
And what Feige said recently was at that time it was too soon. And I respected and understood that. But now it's no longer too soon. Because now we deserve for that character to live on.
Yes.
And, I definitely want children of all races, but especially young Black women and young Black men to be able to see themselves. So it's great that I know we're going to have a woman Black Panther, but I want the character of T'Challa to continue to live on in live action form.
Yeah.
So he might come from a different universe.
Yeah, he said in the beginning when he made the reference, when he made the statement right after Chadwick passed, he says, I will not recast the Black Panther in the 616 universe. Yeah. So why would you say something so specific other than saying I won't recast?
Yeah. But you will see someone else in this suit.
Yeah.
Do you think that Marvel that they created a scapegoat with Kevin the robot? Because the way that Jen just was able to change everything, like you don't necessarily have to give a reason why something changed. If you have one of the fourth wall breakers talk to Kevin and say, you know what I'm saying, change this, do you think that may be something they lean on?
Well, they also said too that in the actual episode that wasn't gonna happen again. They was like, yo, like that's not gonna happen again.
You did see that, they sure did.
But one thing that did show me though was something that you just also too brought up is I would like to see more representation because like of course we're gonna jump to the final episode where Jen breaks fourth wall. She-Hulk breaks fourth wall and actually sees the man behind the mirror technically, which is Kevin. In that moment, I kept seeing it and I was like, yo, there's no us in this MCU. Like there's no, and I don't want to label us as shit talkers, but there's no character that in that particular moment that you would have that would make you crack up seeing this. Like even I'll just paint the picture now. This is CT's show. CT, and so not calling it She-Hulk, but this is your show and you break fourth wall. Like the conversation you would have with Kevin would be gold. All the fourth wall stuff you'd break, all the stuff you'd ask, it would be gold. And I'm like, I noticed that. I was like, we don't have that just yet. We don't have nobody that's that kind of relatable. Like we don't have Deadpool yet, so we don't even have him to do that. And he's still a very big character like that. Like it's very off the wall. There's no person that's just like a regular, just like, yo, when the X-Men coming out? Kevin, don't do me like that. Kevin, if you don't let me do this, I swear I'll start naming out Spider-Man characters. I swear I'll mess you and Sony stuff up. You better let me. I just want to make one change. And it's just like that type of stuff. I'm like, I can't wait till we get that because I feel like we're missing that.
Yeah. That Kevin aspect, for it to be a robot, I was like, I damn near would have rather she talked to Kevin Feige because it's like.
So you agree with that?
Yeah.
You'd agree that it was Kevin. I agree that it should have been Kevin too.
Yeah. It's like, why give me the robot and name him Kevin?
Yeah. And I don't, and the thing is, I feel like Kevin Feige, and this is just me, y'all can this is y'all opinion, my opinion, but I feel like it is that time for Feige to start allowing himself to be mentioned within these movies. Like, yo, you're the Stan Lee of the MCU. It's okay for you to be in this. It's okay for you to have your small cameos if you choose to. It ain't got to be a lot. It ain't got to be all the time. But this particular one would have been great if She-Hulk got to walk in your office and sit down with you and talk. Because to hear you say, can you change back into Jen real quick? Because you know what's been happening. You saw the last trailer.
That would have been better. Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah. And I think the only reason why he did it that way probably is because that ending, he probably still couldn't explain it. So it's like, oh no, it wasn't me. It was the algorithm. Like, it was his buffer for people to not associate it with the person, but say, oh yeah, it's a robot algorithm. But we all know that it's really him. But it's just like, I wonder if that's the reason, the thought behind it.
What I wanted from the end of She-Hulk is something bigger to scare her. Like maybe I don't know. I know this is not going to happen. Like, Silver Surfer coming down. Like, She-Hulk. We have a problem. Something like that. So something that big that happened, and so it's like, oh, what's about to happen next? Versus a closure. I didn't like the closure of the episode. Like they were like Fast and Furious at the picnic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could have showed that behind the screen. Like you could have showed like space and then this small blip.
Right.
Doing
something
like this coming. Yeah. It's like, yo, what is that in the background?
That definitely. Go ahead.
No, go CT.
That definitely, looking at the show, it was like I definitely saw the picnic and was like, because I knew they were going to sprinkle some things. For me, the villain of the season was not big enough. You showed me Titania way too many times. She has a more extensive rogues gallery, I'm sure. I love seeing my guy from the Wrecking Crew. First of all, Nick Gomez, I worked with him some years ago in Louisiana, and I'm so glad to see him get a shine, as well as one of the comedians who played Man Bull. And I was like, Nathan Hurd. I love seeing the familiar faces, but she didn't have a true villain that she could go all out with. The problem that I had with the series, as much as I loved it, is every superhero needs to have that person that they go toe to toe with. I mean, you can see the show that I just mentioned, Moon Knight even had it where he went toe to toe with the guy, right? When you look at Hawkeye, he had his, the villains that he was dealing with. Intelligentsia, for them just to be a bunch of nerds and not like, I preferred, even though they didn't like the trope of him taking the serum of She-Hulk, I preferred her being able to fight somebody, because every superhero story has you having that one face off with a villain where they go all out and they come back bloody, and it took all that they had to beat this villain. So for her to have not ever had that fight, we never got to see what she was truly made of, to see her get exhausted and breathing hard and beat up and then have to truly fight. So that's the one thing that was missing from the show, even though it was a comedy, legal comedy.
Where they shot themselves in the foot at is that, one, Titania in the comics is one of her biggest, if not her biggest foe, right? So they like I said, they shot that load off too early. But in the courtroom, Mallory is also one of her biggest foes, right? So it's like the two people that she usually have to deal with in her superhero form and in her attorney life, you changed those characters changed them too early. Mallory's kind of like a friend, and no, not Mallory. What's the black lady name? Oh, was it Mallory?
I thought it was Mallory. What was her name?
Never gonna know this.
Wait, no. Now I'm trying to remember. Is Mallory the best friend, or
let's just call her Pat? Because no one's.
Well, either way it goes, the one that ends up representing her and helping her. Nikki. Okay, so it is Mallory. All right, so yeah, so Titania should have been the big villain, but like I said, they showed her too much. They didn't utilize her as big enough, and
they watered her down for sure.
Yeah, so like that's kind of where they shot. So now they would essentially have to pull somebody from her rogue gallery that's not as big in the comics and now make them larger than life.
Well, but still, yeah, go ahead, Dion.
So mutants just exist now. They're not even going to announce where they came from.
So here's my thing with that. So in going into the episode where Daredevil is first featured, that was something very interesting, because when they were in court, he mentioned that the Soviet Accords don't exist anymore. And so with that, I was just like, oh, okay, because I always put that as, okay, this is y'all version of the Mutant Registration Act. But since that's gone, it's like, okay, that was the first rendition of this, which now opens up the Mutant Registration Act to come back, and for those inhibitors to also make a comeback, because of the fact that all three people, basically Hulks, are wearing this. Abomination had to wear one, She-Hulk had to wear one, and Hulk was wearing one. So that's going to definitely come back into play, and I think they're going to tie that in with the Mutant Registration Act when they start bringing in mutants.
So the question I have for that to make sense is, did Bruce invent that, or had they been acting like those existed before he was wearing his?
I think, didn't he say he created it? He worked on it.
Okay, then if that's the case, then that trumps my theory of having every mutant having to have worn one for the past 20 years, and that be a way that they can explain why they haven't been here.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
I
mean, that technology could still be, because remember, Bruce still basically works with the government. So
right.
Technically, he could be working with Sword right now.
I love that Scar would, like, Sakaar, his son. No, Scar is his son. I love that they introduced that, but now it's like, yo, you told me you couldn't give Hulk his own movie. So how are we doing this?
Two things. Go ahead, Dion, because I know two.
Hold on, Will. No, Dion. This was not gonna happen, man. This nigga Will was on a rhythm, and this nigga Dion hit you with this twice. So he's not even looking up to see that you're about to talk. So go ahead, Will. You say your shit and then let Dion go. This nigga's out of control. You see it, everybody see it. This nigga Dion, look at him doing it right now. He gonna pop up with a theory and interrupt somebody.
I be knowing y'all busy, so I chalk it up to them like, yo, these are three of the hardest working men I be knowing. So I try to just not take it personal. I'm just glad y'all here and we can talk about this shit. But I appreciate CT being the sheriff of this. Like, oh,
man,
hold on, no. You go sit there and get the porn catalog ready for next week. But it was two things. One, it feels like if a movie is gonna happen, you're gonna combine World War Hulk and Planet Hulk together. Because for Scar to, I guess, supposedly what I guess have been on Sakaar this whole time, I guess he was born there. I guess that's the thing that they're gonna push, that he was born on Sakaar. But it's just like, okay, but Planet Hulk was a dead planet that he went to, and because of his blood, all of that stuff started growing and stuff.
Oh,
that's where so and that's where he met another Hulk type person, had a baby, and that's where Scar come from. And so eventually all of them ascend to Earth, and that's how World War Hulk happens.
So they all come to Earth.
Yeah, World War Hulk is where they come invade Earth. Like him, all the Hulk, and because remember in Civil War, the Illuminati didn't want Hulk to not be on their side, so they put him in a spacecraft and shot him into space. And then they shot him to a planet, which is what he turned into Planet Hulk. Yeah. But see, they changed that to where he just left.
Yeah, and to confirm, Bruce did invent the inhibitor. So it was made by Bruce. He created it after all the events and everything. So this is just recent technology. But then Damage Control made like an alternate version of it to utilize for them when they capture superpower beings. So.
Yeah, and so we now know that technology is being built too on how to stop superheroes. And so, but other thing I didn't like about Scar was I don't like that these Hulks ain't hulking. Yeah, like, you remember when you used to see Hulk, you were like, damn.
It used to be like a wild pit bull. It's like, oh shit, whose Hulk is that?
I feel like I'm running the Hulk at Whole Foods, and you're like,
hey, what's up, Hulk? I like you, man.
Hey, I drink this kombucha too. Oh shit!
I need a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, what that dude is.
You made a good point when you said he was so much shorter than Abomination, because it's like I don't remember them not being the same height. So the fact that you made Abomination that big and made Hulk that small, and then when he introduced his son is like 2 inches shorter than him, which the way that they made Hulk seem in the show was like he's damn near like 6'5". So if he's 6'5" and his son is now 6'2", it's like now you're showing me that this is not even a big guy.
I'm just like, so why is the Rock and Roman Reigns the designs for these damn Hulks? I'm like, y'all supposed to be big.
Yeah, they're supposed to be huge.
And then I'm just like, okay, so who you? Because here's my thing, and I know they're gonna bring this up. Who you let fade your hair like that? Because this one let me know Scar got friends, and they didn't tell him nothing.
They didn't tell him nothing.
Whoever gave Sam Wilson that motherfucking chin strap is who cut that, because that chin strap I hated. So whoever gave him that chin strap was the same person who cut up Hulk's son,
and the same person that had made Robert Downey Jr.'s beard lower and lower and lower every movie. When he did Iron Man 1, it was perfect. Iron Man 2 was a little thin. You're like, all right, okay. Iron Man 3 and Avengers is like every single one was thinner and thinner and barely existed. And it's like, what are we doing, guys?
You wasn't for his beard character development?
No, because it got worse every movie. I'm an Iron Man guy. I'm like, bro.
You was looking at that. I'm looking at that hair up there thin and be like, I see that spike. Like when I watched it game, I was like, "Whoa, hey, bro, you might want to comb over."
Hit that comb over.
That mohawk. You ain't even got the Hawkeye right there. Like,
Hawkeye made a comeback with that hair, boy. He looked so badass. I was like, "That's dope, Hawkeye."
Yeah.
That's the thing about some of these actors that they got, because Don Cheadle, he cannot hide his grays. And so when you be seeing his stubble, it's like, bro, you be looking old, bro. Like
he's 56.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Damn. I don't mind that though, because it's like he out of everybody probably got it the worst and got the most stressful job, because you basically the bridge. Like you got to work with the superheroes and you got to try to listen to what the military talking about too. So it's like yo, man, this shit straight, and my legs don't work.
And here's the thing, I don't know, because when we saw the trailer for Secret Wars, he was walking normally.
At the
time, had no apparatus.
And at the time we saw it, they hadn't used that nanotechnology either, and so that was the thing. I think so too. Is that I don't think that they never introduced, because I always saw it too, and then when I saw Endgame, is sometimes he had them braces on and sometimes he didn't. So I think like how you talking about, we may get to see some of that nanotechnology from the armor suit explain why he can just walk regular now.
Okay.
Because he was in a suit walking like Don Cheadle be walking. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. And shout out to Wong, of course. Wong out here. We know Wong ain't a virgin. Wong out here tapping that. What's her name? They're tapping that Missy ass and watching
Madison with a Y. But it's not where you think.
Yeah.
Hello. Where you think?
Hey,
yo, Wong showed up. Go ahead.
Hey, I was gonna say, this let me know that if they gave Wong a show, I definitely would watch it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. But here's the thing: you can't give him a show because as much as we love Wong, it's gonna take away from Doctor Strange. Like Doctor Strange, remember, they said they're building their entire MCU around him. So if you give Wong a show and you can't lower your movie stars to then be on TV. So the thing that I loved about the Marvel Universe, Disney Plus universe, is that they gave everybody who hadn't had a film their own show. So that way you could start to love these characters. But they never brought their movie stars to television. What I mean is the only person of the Avengers that you could say has been in the television form, I think y'all said the quick thing was Captain Marvel made an appearance in Miss Marvel into the season, and the Hulk is big character enough that's made an appearance, but none of their stars. And I'm even going to defend the Hulk thing. The Hulk, the Mark Ruffalo version, has never had his own film. So he goes into the list of people that didn't have their own film. Now, when you say Hawkeye, he's also a guy that didn't have his own movie. You never saw Thor in none of these TV shows. You never even saw
Would you count Nick Fury too?
Widow. No, because Nick Fury has always been acclimated into the television projects. He was even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But I was asking, was he in that Avengers category or the Hawkeye category? Like no movie. That's more what I was asking.
He's no movie. So none of the characters who've had their own films, i.e. a Chris Evans, i.e. a Tony Stark, Black Widow, like none of the people who had their own films were in any of the Disney Plus series.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it makes sense.
But if I'm being honest though, don't nobody want to fuck with Doctor Strange like that.
What?
He ain't an anchor, bro. And I'll tell you, just like how Ali Sadiq says, there's a time and a place where you can see where your life went wrong. And I know where it was for Doctor Strange, and people don't want to admit it, but this is where you lost all credibility for this motherfucker. When you saw him making balloon animals on Saturday Night Live, I said, you basic bitch.
What?
I was like, I don't know how to look at you right now. You over here dressed as this doing balloon animals, showing the most of white privilege. This is why Wong surpassed your ass.
That's hilarious.
These are the reasons why you number two. This is why you number two in everything.
Well, the reason why most people like Wong is, I think we said this before, is because he has the most realistic reactions to everything. Like he's like, "Hey, keep me out of this shit." Like Wong will bounce ASAP. Like, you know what? Y'all got it. I'm out of here, bro. and I think that's so relatable, especially to people of color, because we see some shit that has nothing to do with us. Hey, just keep me out of it. Y'all do y'all. I'm gonna be over here.
Like, well, they say, Wong, you are accessory of breaking someone out of the prison. He said, "Good day."
He realized he's like, oh no.
But I also like that too, though. Like one, I love that Juan has that feeling of. So let's also make this very clear. Can't none of y'all whoop my ass. Like
right.
I was a librarian. Now I'm Sorcerer Supreme. Like yo, because even like how he was checking Doctor Strange in the movie. Like, so you know it's custom to bow to the sorcerer. Oh, you know. Oh, okay.
All right.
So what did you fuck up now that I gotta clean up?
That I gotta clean up.
Oh, that big thing up there. Okay. You wait till an hour and 48 minutes after this movie. You gonna buy?
Here's the thing. Wong is amazing, but the DC Disney Plus category has always and has been built so far off of sidekicks. So everybody that's a sidekick and not the A+ player has been in a Disney Plus series. The only person to break away from that has been Sam Wilson's Falcon, now being the Captain America in the film after that.
And then technically that's a transition from an original character now because you were originally Falcon in that.
Right.
Now you Captain America. So this technically is a new chapter.
This is a new chapter. And Black Widow and Scarlet Witch. I'll give her credit for becoming the villain in Doctor Strange too. So that's also another one who came from TV show headlining back to film, and now she's headlining. Like I like the way they build their characters up, especially people that they didn't have. Now it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Hawkeye because nobody popped from Hawkeye except Kingpin, and now we see Daredevil and in She-Hulk. So it's like that. I love his theme song. I love how he showed up. I love how they showed us. Don't like the costume. I love how they showed that he is.
You know which one that is. You know which one that is. That's Vacation Kingpin right there. Oh, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I know what Kingpin this is. But that one was ruthless though. That's the one that like.
Well, because they made him more powerful. They gave.
But that's the underground one too though. Like the one that wear that shirt. That's the one that's really like heavy within the underground outside of his empire. Like that's.
Well, no, not Kingpin. Daredevil. Like Kingpin killed it from Hawkeye. I'm saying he popped. I'm saying Daredevil. I didn't like his costume in She-Hulk.
Yeah,
the mustard and ketchup.
Let's get into Daredevil.
I heard that was the original outfit.
It is. It's comic book accurate, but still, it wasn't a fan favorite of mine, even in the comic books.
You look like ketchup and mustard.
Yeah,
and the fact that you're blind is even more just funnier. Thanks. But I will say though, what I did like that I did take away from this was that there's a tone that they gave him that missed in Netflix. So it's like, and now it makes me more confident in knowing I'm gonna still get that grittiness of him, but now I've seen him in a light where he shit talks. Like you never seen him really shit talk when he fought. Like when she was like, "Yo, I'm gonna kick your ass. Consider my ass unkicked." I was like, I've never really heard you talk shit when you fight. And I'm like, okay. So seeing that
MCU love their quips. MCU loves their quips.
But then seeing him for the first time, and that shit amazed me. I was like, yo, this is the first time I've seen him dressed as Daredevil in day.
Yeah.
In broad daylight, walking the walk of shame in his suit. And I was like,
But what I did love is seeing the fact that this is one small thing. When he did the walk of shame, he was walking in the grass with no socks on because he's still blind, so he didn't have his stick. Two, they called him Daredevil, not the Devil of Hell's Kitchen.
I'm so sorry, CT.
Yeah,
sir, just.
Yeah.
I never thought of that till now. Like,
yeah, that was brilliant.
I picked it up right when they did it. I was like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, that's why his shoes was off. He didn't have his stick. And the fact that Daredevil was one of the Netflix shows that was done so beautifully that Kevin Feige was like, we got to bring him back as Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because his show was so dope. You also notice when they tried to recreate that famous hallway scene from the Netflix Daredevil in the She-Hulk when they were going through the hallway, and it was cool, but it wasn't the one on Netflix.
Oh no, they can't. They couldn't get that savage.
No. Yeah, and you gotta remember too, like hers isn't PG-13, so that's the reason why too. Hers isn't a PG-13 show.
You know what I also love about what they did with Daredevil? If you pay attention to the things that he said, it didn't contradict anything that happened in the Netflix series. Like even with Luke Jacobson, he said, "Oh yeah, he's working on my new suit." When he talked about his law firm, he said, "We recently changed," and he says, "We," and then we think about the end of Daredevil in the Netflix series, where where they all create their new law firm. So it's like everything that he said, it can still coexist with what happened in the Netflix series. He didn't say anything that contradicts anything that happened. I thought that was
you got to remember, though they said Daredevil Born Again, he said it's a new show, but it's not a new show because Disney owns the rights to all the Netflix shows and they acquired them and put them on Disney Plus. So they can't go against what they've told. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Iron Fist, though, because I haven't heard anything positive about that brother's show. And it's like,
all you heard was trash. You just heard a dude go, I'd like to come back.
I'm sure you would. But here's the thing.
I'd play it again.
That's
Cage, all you heard. That was it.
Luke Cage is Luke Cage, no matter what. I would love to see how they revisit or try to redo the Defenders, but that wasn't it the way they did it on Netflix.
Here's the thing too. That's gonna take a while because I don't know how Disney's gonna get around people saying nigga in that show. I don't know how Disney gonna get us.
Yo, I will feel uncomfortable. Like, no, we got all black writers though. We got all black writers. We got a black director.
Oh, like Disney. Not on Disney. Not on my Disney.
Wait, not on my Disney. If you've been black in the MCU for this long and they let somebody else be the first person to drop nigga, do you feel away? Like, do you feel away if you don't get to be able? Like, I've been in the MCU since the day one, and y'all ain't let me drop nigga, and now y'all bringing somebody else in. Why they get to do it? Why can't I do it?
Yo, that's hilarious though. Who would you want to be the first person to say it?
Samuel Jackson, man. Who do you think?
You gotta be
Samuel. I gotta ask.
You gotta go, Sam.
There's no other person that deserves.
Have they dropped the MF? Have they dropped the MF yet?
They hinted at it at the end when when he blipped and then he said right before he hit it he said mother and then he blipped blipped away.
Yeah. I think shit is like the only like foul thing.
No F-bombs in MCU.
No F-bomb shit. I don't know. No, I think in the MCU, right? I think someone has said F. I think Star-Lord may have said it in Guardians of the Galaxy. But it'd be very light because there's only a certain amount of them you could say before the rating change from like PG to something else.
I just wonder what the next step is, bro. Like, what is the next step for She-Hulk? Because you show us this thing with Hulk. You show us now we know that she's going to be starting her own law firm, which is great. But it's like, what is the step? I would have loved to have seen her get her own law firm sooner. Yeah. Like when they hired her to be a part of the conglomerate in the law division, I would have rather saw her start her own firm then and start encountering superheroes or heroes and then have to defend them at that point.
Which also too would have worked very well if they would have utilized Titania better, because in the episode where she sues her for a trademark, that's when you could have saw her kind of have her Hulk out. Yeah. And you know, and that's when they get scared of her too. And it's just like, yo, this is what Bruce was trying to tell you about. Like, yo, you got a villain, you got power, and this is what she did, and look how she got you out here now.
Because intelligence it wasn't it. Yeah, it wasn't. And the way that they ended it, they didn't leave any lingering thing that lets you say, okay, I can't wait for next season or the next appearance of her. Like right now, it seems like everything worked out in her favor. She got the guy, now people accept her for being She-Hulk and Jen, and like there's really nothing left for her at the moment.
What we should have saw too was her action, the ramifications of her suing them. Like she said, I'll see you in court. We should have saw something of that. And then that could have also been one of the end clips of Todd in jail. And then someone approaches him and they tell him like, yo, we see what you were doing. Let me show you the real intelligentsia. And then it goes off.
Oh, yeah. Something like that probably would have. That would have been enough. That would have been enough.
So it's still there. That's still established. We know, okay, so there's something bigger to this. but it wouldn't have just been like it was too campy. It was like even like the Flash on CW would have been like, that's how you ended it. We don't even know. We at least defeat somebody first.
I think something that would have been dope on brand is if she went to like the Indian Ocean and she seen the hand and she's like, what the hell is that? like just kind of this, like, yes, thank you. You are acknowledging this. We see it again.
If her boss would have sent her out there, be like, yo, I know we fired you, but look, we'll bring you back as like contract, and this your first one. And then she just out there, she's like, what the hell? And it just zooms out, and it's that. It's like,
Or her and Bruce just like leaping over the ocean. She's like, what was that? Like doing a big ass
like,
jump.
Whoa, you got to be careful jumping on this. It's an ancient artifact. Wait, where are we? And it just zoom out, and it's them sitting there. It's just like,
you gotta understand. As somebody who has a fear of large bodies of water, when I saw
I didn't know this about you.
When I saw Eternals and I saw that hand come up from the water, it truly scared the shit out of me. Because picture you're in the ocean, bro, and a large hand comes from the water like that. That's gonna fucking give you a heart attack, bro.
I'm not even picturing being there while it happened. I'm still tripping from seeing it out there.
Wait.
Right.
Because CT, I know you saw that clip of that couple that was kayaking in that big ass balloon.
Of course.
So like it's like that was scary. So it's
terrifying, bro. So, because Eternals had the CGI effect too. So it's like even at the end when the hand grabbed them and brought them into space, and it's like they're so minute compared to this large human being. It's scary, bro. Like that.
It should have been the Earth should have shaped. Because there's no way it should have been like a tsunami of water coming.
Well, here's what they did. So just to let y'all know, they just proved that Earth flat. So that was them letting y'all know. Because how you just said, if this was circular, that would have happened. Tidal waves would have ensued, breaking the atmosphere. Like your hand coming down, even stopping right here is a comet. Like you're all this on your fingertips on fire. So by the time you stop and the force from you stopping still hits Earth. And something should happen. But like how you said, the fact everybody can see this dude in space and just did this and was like, come here. Free sample. Like, no. That is scary.
That's what they need. They need to do like web series short of just people reacting to that because somebody had to see it.
Marvel won.
Somebody had to see in Moon Knight when old boy was changing the sky. Like what? Who's the person that's like, yo?
Now that would have been the perfect, and that would have been the perfect time to introduce cannabis into the MCU. They'd have been like,
cannabis.
Oh my god! There should have been.
Am I the only one saying this? Is it time?
Right, that gotta fuck you up, bro. Like,
you can't fuck with the stars and moon like that. We should have had all types of tornadoes, like tsunamis, hurricanes. You can't fuck with the moon like that.
And that's why I hate missing the black effect too, because somebody have been on there and be like, all right, technically, I've been at work for 12 weeks. How do I get paid for all of that? I've been here. I've been here, baby. Like I did my work. I would love to see some of these things explained. That's why I like them though doing the Marvel presentation stuff. So it's like I like them like doing Werewolf by Night and everything because as y'all said, it gives them a chance to take people who we won't really get to see do a lot and that really may not need a series. You get to see those type of things.
Werewolf by Night, yes. But the only complaint that I have about that is Werewolf, they did the thing that we loved growing up, which is hand make the costumes and you didn't need the computer graphics. Mm-hmm. But Werewolf should be half Hulk's size. He shouldn't be this little wolf type dude. Like if you're going to do it, make him brolic and huge. Don't just add 5 pounds of mass to his chest and hair.
Well, I think they went by the old school logic and stuff, and I don't like that either. Like I like when Hugh Jackman played Van Helsing. Mm-hmm. I like those werewolves. I'm like, I need you to be like 8 feet tall. I even like how they transform, like make the skin fall off. and come out and stuff like that. Yo, I look like if y'all, I love that.
It gotta look painful when you transform.
Yeah, like when they did it and was shredding their skin and coming out, I was like, yo, that's how you become a werewolf. Not this. Not this. I'm the hunchback like this, and I got a whole bunch of hair, and I'm just raw.
Why is it so painful? Why is it like? Like your bones be breaking.
Have you seen Hemlock Grove on Netflix?
Yeah, Hemlock Grove. I remember that.
Hemlock Grove probably has the most accurate of watching someone metamorph into an animal. That's probably like the most painful looking one, because him turning into like a wolf dog, whatever he was turning into, and watching like this bone break backwards and then hind leg, and him jump down like, oh.
Yeah,
I see why you be mad all the time. I wouldn't want
But when you think about a transformation, it gotta be that. It's like you change
your bones are shifting.
So why don't the Hulk do that?
Exactly.
He just be growing. Why She-Hulk can't go do that?
They just be. But when you look at even True Blood, their werewolves were terrible because them motherfuckers would just turn into dogs. It's like, come on, man.
I would like to thank you, CT, for acknowledging True Blood. I don't have a lot of groups that be, they don't be on that like me.
Oh man, I used to love True Blood.
Man, Speaking of old school though, I did like how they did that intro to the final episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Bill Bixby's Hulk. Yeah.
That was really dope. Like,
lesser known fact. The body double for She-Hulk, that was really the true body double because it's a man.
Yeah,
I just saw that article.
It's a man that does the CGI body work for She-Hulk.
Yeah. For the original, hold on.
For the She-Hulk that we watched for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
The CGI is based off of this man. So he does the motion capture because he's tall. And he's got the size. It's a man.
It's a man walking,
That's
baby.
Not great. That's not great.
Which is hilarious.
I would think they would got like a volleyball player or a basketball player.
Well, they would have, but she's in jail in Russia right now. Okay, so that's why she couldn't do it.
I knew it, man.
This episode is off the rails.
Boy, Will, wow,
quick draw, boy.
Boy, I tell you what. But yeah, it's a man that does the body doubling, and so when they did the flashback, shout out to Bill Bixby, 80s Hulk, they showed him in full on Hulk, She-Hulk gear, which was dope. But yeah, that intro was incredible, man.
I love the nodes back to the old school. Even like the fourth wall breaking, like how you said though. I'm hoping season 2 we see them more confident in this show. Like I like that y'all gave us She-Hulk. I do believe She-Hulk is a great character. I would love to see her interact into the MCU with whatever they do have planned. But I would like to see, like how you said, CT, I want to see a basis for her now. Like give me a real villain for her to fight. Let me see how she's rebuilding herself. Now give us a show. Give us a real attorney show. Like we seen the comical side. Now let us also see like some of that drama thrown in there too. Having to deal with stuff. Like I would love an ongoing case that she has to work on. A huge ongoing case she got to take on that has something to do with what holds next for the MCU.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Hey, yo, the U.S. sues Wong.
Because he definitely broke out Abomination again.
What?
They
They got a warrant for his arrest, and they want him to turn himself in. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us with 2 episodes. I'm just keeping honest. You're gonna see this ending twice. So the previous episode talking about She-Hulk, and this episode with us is talking about Marvel, DC, and catching up with so many things and stuff like that. So as always, I'd like to thank Dion, CT, and of course Young Deuces for joining on these episodes for us. We hope that y'all enjoyed them. Let us know on She-Hulk, what was your favorite episode and your greatest takeaway with She-Hulk? What did you like about the season? What didn't you like about the season? And the same thing for our other show. that we just did, how do you feel about DC being able to cater villains to form the heroes as their new formula for their movies and live action stuff? But before we get out of here, I always like people to let them know where they can be followed and supported. So Young Deuces, it ain't nothing new, you up.
Right. All right, well, y'all can follow me at young_deuces. And again, make sure y'all go to Watch Mojo, man. Go to Watch Mojo's page. Check out some of the top 10 lists that I am now voicing. It's been a blast doing that. So I would definitely like to see some of y'all in those comments, just, repping and supporting, you know what I'm saying? Put the hashtag straight out of comment, put SOACB. Straight out. Yeah.
SOCB now. Yeah, SOCB.
Oh, SOCB now?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
SOCB. Yeah.
Put the hashtag SOCB. Let them know where you that we repping in there. So yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. And as y'all know, always make sure you support my YouTube channels. Back on the Twitch. Going back on Twitch, man. I'm live. Man. Yes, man. Come check me out on Twitch Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then as well as Saturdays and Sundays, you can check out my CS network. That's the Can't Sleep network. Go to my Twitch and you can watch some of all of my favorite content I've been in. It's over 300 episodes, which means it's over hours of content that you can just go watch on Saturdays and Sundays on my Twitch channel, going all the way from Sunday starting at 6 a.m. Saturday 6 a.m. all the way till Sunday midnight. 48 hours of me.
Dope.
Yes, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out another episode of Straight Outta Comic Books. And I have been your host, Will Pharaoh. This has been Young Deuce, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah.